Hey guys, we are live here in the radio studio. You all just watched and listened to Monday Mountain Monday Morning here with Robert Oimby. We're so glad to have him on the set with us. But now you're with Rhonda, and I'm excited about some things that's going on today. First of all, I want to mention May the 15th. We're having an open house here at the studio. Please put that on your calendar. Please put it on your calendar. Come out, see what we do here, see what's going on. Check out on our Facebook. You get all the information. If you have any questions, just send us some messages. And during this video, during this time, go down there to the bottom, like, share, comment, say, hey, what's going on? And if you have any questions, please put them in our forest or anything you'd like to know about. Right now, I'd like to thank our sponsor, which is Grants Guardians. Thank you, Grants Guardians, for standing behind us and sponsoring us today. Right now, Bob, if you roll those credits, let's get started.
I'm on it.
Hey, this is Entertainment in the Smokies, and I'm Rhonda, and I'm excited about having our guest today, Carlo Martini. That's like the drink, martini. Welcome, Carlo.
Oh, good morning, Rhonda. How are you?
Oh, I am great. Now, I am excited about some things. I know that you do acting and music and all kinds of great things. First of all, let me go ahead and show everybody. You got some CDs here. This is you being Elvis.
Yeah, well, it was a few years back, when I used to do some Elvis music, tributes and so forth.
So you stood in and done some Elvis. I can tell by some of the chops going on there. You done Elvis?
Just I put a couple of songs in my repertoire, but not like when I used to, like with the suits and all that stuff.
So now surely that's not the only thing you done was Elvis.
No, I like to also do, other artists like, Sinatra, Dean Martin, Tom Jones, Engelbert Humperdinck, also sing some Italian songs, different songs in Italian, and some country classic, which I enjoy doing.
Now I can tell that you are Italian. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm Italian. I was born and raised. I was born in Italy and raised there.
So you was born in Italy, raised there. You come to America. You was an Italian Western actor, wasn't you? You played in some westerns.
Back in the it's kind of a long story, but back in 1974, I think it was. The first time I went to Nashville to record a song written by Don King, and it was produced by Bill Walker, a musical arranger. And then I came back, years went by, and then I came back in the 80s, and I was on the Ralph Emery show, and they billed me as the Nashville first Italian country, like romantic ballad singer, So, and I was, pushing for that, I thought that everybody thought it was a great gimmick and, ideas and the name and all that stuff. And I like the romantic type, like ballads, romantic.
So
from the heart,
You've wrote some music yourself, too.
Yeah, well, I wrote like 2 songs, but the other one was, written by other artists, in Nashville and other artists somewhere.
And you got the permission and you sung it and you made your own. And you actually have a CD that's out.
Probably like CD promo.
So that's cool. We actually have some of your music, and we're gonna roll to that if that's okay. And listen to a little bit of your music.
Thanks.
All I'm doing is going. This getting hard to do. It's Monday morning, I ain't gonna leave, 'cause they got all they're gonna get from me. There's a cab I am gonna catch. There's an empty seat on the train. Memories. Are you lonesome tonight? Do you miss me? my time is up and I knock on heaven's door. Hasn't been easy, and I faced the cold dark nights, not knowing whether I'll see the morning light.
Wow, that was that's some good music. I mean, I heard you sound a lot like Elvis in those songs and some of them.
Thank you.
So now you're writing a book. Let's
Right.
talk about your book really quick.
It's
This your book here is the journey
Yeah.
of Carlo Martini.
Journey of Carlo Martini, and it's a book that's, well, actually I dedicate this book to in memory of my mom and dad, but it started with them, when they were young and they lived in a village of Italy during the war days. And then in 1954, that's when I was born. I just give my age away. 1954, and then when I was 2 years old, I traveled the first time to come to America with the Andrea Doria, the ship that went down in 1956. Then I traveled other ships, like Cristoforo Colombo, Leonardo, Raffaello, and all those ships. And then in 1966, I finally made a final arrival, and we settled up north. And I went to school there, which I didn't speak much English at all, and so I had to learn English fast. And then I went to high school in South River and moved to Florida. Did some shows there back in '73 to '78. And during those days, I traveled and I made connections, like I said, in Nashville. Then I opened up for Jimmy Dickens, Renner Staub, Mel Tillis, and other artists, and so forth.
Ernest Tubb, you told me Ernest Tubb,
Yeah,
and so Johnny Cash one time. You worked with him.
Oh, great.
The Man in Black.
Oh man, he was a great. All of them, they're such great people. They were to talk to and to be with, such great artists and very polite people. Really, really nice. And so I had the honor to meet all those folks, and that really made country music too, because that's what they're great legends, And then during the years, I had the honor to meet Elvis and with Joe Esposito in those days. And then I was also friends with Harold Lloyd and Uncle Vester and Aunt Lorraine. She kind of adopted me, so to speak. She was Elvis's aunt, Aunt Lorraine, and we used to hang around at the gates and different things like that. So, but there's a lot of more into it and then recently was on 3 westerns, independent film that's out already, and then there's one coming up. I forget the name of it, but it's coming up. They're still finishing it. And I was invited to be back, to do a little sport part. And the other ones I played, like Mr. Palermi was an Italian. Was it like a banker, tough guy kind of thing. And,
Well, that's cool. Now, can you speak Italian, right?
Oh yeah.
Could you speak a little Italian for us?
What do you want?
Just say something like, "Thanks for listening to Mountain Fun Life Radio."
Oh, grazie per ascoltare Mountain Life con radio. And un saluto a tutti che stanno ascoltando. That means, hello to everyone who's listening to this radio station.
That is awesome. Thank you so much. I have some Italian friends. I actually have one Italian friend. Her name is Gina. She's very, very Italian. Sometimes she's got the attitude for it sometimes, and she's a great cook.
Oh, yeah.
And she's learning her grandson Italian, and I think that is wonderful.
Oh, yeah. I was back in Italy many years ago, about 15 years ago, and I lived there for, I also lived there for several years. And when I was there, I was there in 1987, then I went back again in the 90s. Back and forth, it's a long story. But anyway, but in 1987, I was in a film with Christian De Sica and Massimo Boldi, Christian De Sica is the son of the late Vittorio De Sica.
Yeah.
He's also director, you know. So and I had the honor to work with the Laurentiis Productions and Aurelio and all those people, and it was a movie called I think Casino Monte Carlo, Grand Casino di Monte Carlo, and so Laurenti. Well, what happened is when I was in Monaco one night, this is a true story. One night I went there. And I was like a little club, you know, people get together, and I went up and, you know, just voluntarily I went up to, you know, I think it was like karaoke thing, and I went up to sing a song, right?
Mm-hmm.
So not knowing who was going to be in the audience, I had no idea. So then I got off the stage, and then this lady came up, and I guess was the wife or secretary or somebody, and she said, "Someone wants to meet you." And I said, "Yeah, sure, okay." So I'm going up to the table, and not knowing who I was going to meet, it was like Mr. Laurenti, the nephew. And he says, I like what I like what I heard. I said, well, thank you. And then he introduced himself, and I was like, whoa. And he said, I like the way, the way at that time I was more, in shape. And he says, I like to, what you look like. And he says, would you like to be in a movie? Would you like to start tomorrow to be in a movie? We're filming. And I went, oh, really? And I said, well, what do I need to do? And he said, well, if I would have known you a little before, you would have had a speaking part. But I'll tell you what, he said, I'll get you on as much scene as possible, mm-hmm. and you'll be like an extra, but you'll be seen.
Right.
I said, yeah. I said, that's fantastic. So I took it and I went on it, and at the film, they were doing the film for like 2 weeks. It took 2 weeks, and it was filmed in the Casino Monte Carlo.
Wow.
And then after
that, you never know. You never know what you're doing, that who will be there watching. Yeah. Let's talk about your music real quick.
Okay.
People, you can go to Facebook. You can find Carlo, that's Carlo Martini, on Facebook. His phone number, if you want to reach him to book him, you're still doing shows and stuff, is 805 341-5781. That's the way. And also, if you go on to Facebook, you can find his webpage. Now, I want to play a little bit more of your music. We got a few more minutes real quick. Let's play a little bit more of your music there.
Okay, thank you. Also,
all I'm doing is going. This getting hard to do. It's Monday morning, I ain't gonna leave. 'Cause they got all they're gonna get from me. There's a cab I am gonna catch. There's an empty seat on the train. Memories. Are you lonesome tonight? Do you miss me tonight? Oh, until my time is up and I knock on heaven's door. Hasn't been easy, and I faced the cold dark nights, not knowing whether I'll see the morning light.
All right. That's some good music. Guys, if you want to hear some more of that, or if you want to maybe book him, come out to a show or something, please contact him. Go to his Facebook page. Now, real quick before we go, one of my all-time favorite actors is Steve Martin. I heard you done something with Steve Martin.
Oh, yeah. In 1987, it's called a movie called
Dirty Rotten Scandal.
Scandal.
Yes.
It was filmed in the coast of France with Michael Caine.
Oh, wow. See, that's amazing. You've had an amazing life, and I'm glad you come on the show and shared that. And
thank you for
people,
inviting me.
please find out more about him. Go to his Facebook page, read more about him, send him a message, say hey to him. He's a great guy. Thank you again to Grants Guardians for sponsoring our show today. Thank you to Mountain Fun Life Radio for having us on. This is Entertainment in the Smokies with Rhonda, and we're excited. And stay tuned. We got another show coming up soon. See you later, guys.